just to confirm that we have indeed completed every no license cup. This requires B license, gold, 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 and then everything else requires a license from here on out. So before we get to that, we'll go to arcade mode, take a quick stop, because how arcade mode works in this game is the single race arcade mode counts for progression. And if I go to clear status, doesn't mean delete your game save, but you can kind of see that there are 34 courses that you need to drive. And you get a circle for completing on easy, normal, or hard. If you complete it on hard though, you get all 3 circles. We don't have to do 3 races. We only have to do hard mode to get every race. And hard mode is just 5 laps with the fastest AI possible. There's actually a professional mode that's an Easter egg, but it doesn't count for anything. So, single race, hard. You only have access to 6 tracks. We'll be playing all 6. This will be kind of like a mini championship in of itself, just to win everything. And yeah, it's basically 5 tracks with 1 variation. First one is going to be Super Speedway. There are 4 classes of cars that you can use. Technically 5, but only 4 accessible right now. Class C has the slowest cars, and some of these are like the Altezza and the SLK and the MRS that we just won actually. Some slowish cars like around 1 to 200 horsepower. Even the Vitz is here. Not pink though. And then some of these K cars and whatnot. So there's that. B class cars are a little bit faster. Some JDM cars. Well, not even JDM cars, just like some that are just under it. So around 200 horsepower. Like Sylvia, Tegra Type R, Celica. I wouldn't call these exact JDM cars that everyone loves, but the Civic, the FTO, the Speedster. And then A class is your JDM cars and sports cars. So we get the NSX, RX-7, Skyline R32, Skyline R34, Evo 7, the RUF, which is Roof, the Porsche tuner car, Super RZ, WRX, Camaro SS, or the Z06. We have the S class, which is all the race cars, and for now it's just JTTC and endurance cars, I want to say, like GT class cars. So you have all these JGTC cars like Supra, NSX, Skylines, different team liveries, and then you have the GT cars like the Viper, C5R, and then you have touring car, the Astra, and then the GT300 cars with like this Autobacks MRS, the S2000 race car. So, a good mix of stuff. And I think we're gonna skip Class C altogether because these cars are just way too slow. And I think we'll mostly be driving A and S class cars. So for Class B, let's get this over with and drive Let's drive the Speedster. I feel like this is a car I'm not gonna really touch in the playthrough. Let's drive an orange Speedster. You can choose racing or drift tires, by the way, but drift tires are worse than racing tires. Anyway, as mentioned before, we're on hard mode, so the only real thing is it's 5 laps long, and since it's Super Speedway, that's why I picked a slower car for this, because this will be a shortish race. So we'll skip Class C cars because they're kind of slow. We drove a lot of those in Beginner League. Everyone likes the fast stuff. Arcade mode doesn't have any pre-race setup. I just turned off aids completely. And we can just enjoy the sights and sounds of the B-class cars. You can also use your own garage cars. But the game opponents might be a little inconsistent. But then again, with the Speedster. Hey, remember on the test course with the Spider and Roadster, where this car was slow with top speed? What happened here? Asphalt 9, streaming for music, yeah. Yep. I wonder why I used it. It's maybe because GT3 is one of my favorite games of all time. And the music... Gran Turismo, I say, has some of the best music of any video game series. But yeah. I might be biased, but I really do think the music is awesome. You'll recognize some of these brands, by the way. The Arai helmets, that was Sub's racing helmet when he was at Ferrari. Chrysler. Pennzoil, I think that was. I can't really tell. Toyota. Shell. Firestone. Michelin. This is a serious game, even for a fantasy track, to load up all these sponsors. You see on the left the Elf, and I can't tell what the other logo was. I think that might have been Renault. But yeah, the Speedster not going 140 miles an hour this time. Mopar. That's what my Dodge uses. My Dart uses Mopar parts. This is good driving in circles. And look at this crowd that is absolutely packed to watch an Opel Speedster drive around in a circle. I always love that, is that this stadium is absolutely packed to watch a couple of boxcars go around at 100 miles an hour. And I mean packed, sold out. Look at this crowd that goes all the way into turn 1. Absolutely cleared crowd. Haha, Jonathan, I am driving the Opel Speedster. Anyone see the new Alpha Max Nova 1 video? Can't believe I'm actually putting it up. The videos are still funny. They're still so funny. I applaud him and Lightland for being able to make new jokes and write new content, instead of reusing the same Spinella jokes over and over again for 2 years. Spinella wasn't mentioned once in the new one. Anyway, final lap. Music was cute. I'd say it's more nostalgic for me. Yeah, this thing can't even break 5th gear though. The Mark Webber screen, yeah. A legendary clip. That race is a classic. I'd say that was maybe the best Baku race. I don't know, 2017 was also really, really, really fun. I don't know which was better, 2017 or 2021 for Baku, but I definitely think that is one of the best races of 2021, and that will be up there. It'll be hard to top that. Anyway, first arcade race, done. Pretty easy. Civic finishes last, the 246 finishes second, but really nothing was a match. I pretty much dominated that whole race. And all you get is a little trophy. Yay. So, I loved 2017 watching Ferrari fight for the title. That was a good time, but also had a sad ending. Only a couple races went differently. So anyway, wait, just to double check. If you go to clear status, Super Speedway, all 3 circles filled. So we don't have to play 3 times, we only have to play once. And just keep it on hard and keep going down. Midfield Raceway, you'll recognize most of these tracks except the 2 in the middle. We'll move up to A class and we'll drive a faster car. So we'll kind of cycle through everything. We'll drive everything here, probably at some point. So you know what, why not just drive the NSX Type S0. I won't do it in red. Let's drive it in blue. I love me a blue NSX. Get stick bugged. The wheel spin. But yeah, we also like driving fastest cars, so like sports cars, and then the race cars also will be pretty fun. But some of these 5-lap races will get pretty long on some tracks. The complex string specifically. I don't know if that's time trial, if there's a race for it, but that would be annoying to race 5 laps on, considering it's a 5-minute track. It's like doing Nordschleife. And this time the pack actually can race pretty hard compared to the last race. But an RUF is fighting with us rather than all these JDM cars, and the Mustang. It's an interesting mix of cars. I'm going to send it down the inside, and that's not really going to work. Instead of Jaguar XKR, we're fighting. In Sharp Blue, I believe it is. Vettel probably would have stayed at Ferrari if he got a title. I do agree with that. But I don't know. I feel like he was doomed as soon as Binotto fired Kimi. As soon as Kimi got fired, that was the first sign that Seb was going. And Arriva Bene, but mostly Kimi. Because that duo worked for Seb. And it almost won them the Constructors' title in 2018. Kimi did what he needed to do to beat Bottas. Just barely. So, if Seb would have beat Hamilton, they would have been Constructors' champions. So, I think that combination could have worked. Charles is an excellent driver, and he will, I think, get them to a Constructors' title, if not extremely close to one. But Charles needs to be the alpha of the team. And so far, he currently is. I'd say. He doesn't have a podium yet for this year, but he is out qualifying Carlos. And Sainz is really good too, so I think Sainz will be great. They have a great combination of drivers. But is Charles up for a title challenge? I think he is. Remember that I was going back to the Asphalt prank? Yes. Of course I remember. I made all these videos. We got a great tussle with the roof. I think this is supposed to be like a Porsche Boxster tuned. We missed the gear there, but oh well. Zandvoort, yeah. We're going to Zandvoort this year. I keep forgetting that there's a Dutch Grand Prix and the Saudi Grand Prix, both this year. I don't really talk about that. There's new tracks coming this year. And then a Miami Grand Prix coming next year. ...2023? I'd say, yeah, 2023 is probably going to be Charles' first title chance. But Ferrari has to nail the 2022 regulation. You know, I'd say even if they get it right, 2021 could be possible. Or 2022, I say. Sorry, not 21. 2022 could be possible for a title challenge if Ferrari nail it like Mercedes in 2014. But if I had to guess, I'm pretty sure Red Bull are going to be really strong next year. Wish she could meet you and buy potato chips and a burger and a hot dog. Appreciate the offer, but I'm fine on my own. ...2050 and Kimi Räikkönen will still be the last Ferrari champion. Binotto will still be... It'll be like 100 years old and be like, guys, we just need to fire... this driver for like the 50th time. Trust me, this one will work. I am surprised Ferrari didn't fire Binotto in 2020 though. Because in my opinion they should have. But you can't throw everybody out the window. But Binotto messed that team up in 2019 and they paid for it in 2020. And he has to do a lot to convince the Tifosi that they're a serious threat for the title. This will be another year without a title for Ferrari. People expected them to win the championship in 2019 after 2018, and, well, that didn't happen. The best F1 GOAT of all time. Vergunneten? Up and coming young driver, Mahavir Vergunneten. You think the Baku 2018 was Seb's reason he lost the title? I disagree. I would say the two obvious candidates are Germany and Italy that year, because two major mistakes happened that race, with him crashing out of the lead and the spin on lap 1 of Italy. But I would say those are setbacks, but not nails in the coffin. I would say the nail in the coffin was actually that year's Singapore Grand Prix, because Ferrari were expected to be the fastest, competing with Red Bull for that race, and Hamilton qualified pole with like one of the best laps of his life, and then dominated the race, and Ferrari put upgrades in the car, and that failed. So Seb could only manage third in that race, and Seb would not take another pole position that year or win another race that year. And that was the nail in the coffin, because Mercedes then had a foundation to build up a huge lead over the next few races. And that's when Seb started to get desperate for points. So that's when he would try, to get the lead quickly in Japan and USA, when he was in must-win situations. So that's just my thoughts of it, was that Seb made big mistakes in Germany and Italy and Japan and USA, but there still could have been a chance. But multiple things were the reason Ferrari did not win that year. That was hard. That was pain that year. Anyway, we completely blitzed their midfield, and here's our first rally race, Smoky Mountain. As you can see, we can only use garage cars, which pretty sure we can use none of them because none of these cars have dirt tires. So we have to use a rally car. And we get to drive a rally car like a WRC car. So we got the Subis, the Lancers, the Tommy Mäkinen Lancer, Corolla, driven by, I think Carlos Sainz drove this car. It's not his exact car, but he drove one of them. Citroen, I don't know how to pronounce it properly. Peugeot, Ford Focus, Ford Escort. My favorite car, rally car of all time, is the 01 Impreza. This is just a prototype in this game. But I think for starters, we're going to drive the 22B, because the 22B is also an amazing car. Legendary. I love the 22B as well. And look at that, we're driving against the prototype. Two Subis. It's not a 22B, it's close enough. Isn't the 22B based off of this car? Anyway, these cars are actually fast. That is a huge send from the prototype. The vape cars. Yes. Go to a Cars and Coffee and you will find a bunch of 01 Subarus with a bunch of vape kids. And the fun part is the hard mode races only need 4 laps, so a little bit shorter. What is my favorite lucky moment? Lucky moment for me, or lucky moment for like an F1? Or explain further. What do you mean by lucky moment? For myself? In a game? In real life? Because I have different answers for different moments. But yeah, my favorite JDM car, I already answered, but it's probably the FD RX-7 Super RZ, and also the Honda NSX. But who doesn't like the NSX? I'd say the FD RX-7. Yeah, 98 Imprezas are hard to find in good condition and reasonably priced. So, let's say, the WRC version had the 2.0 liter engine, 2 liter engine, and the 22B limited production model. I know the 22B was limited to only 500 cars, I think, a small number. 2.2 liter engine, hence 22, 22B. Isn't that what it's really called, the 22B? Also, I know you guys can't see this, but my DualShock 2 controller is absolutely shaking right now because of the vibration. This sells the DualShock controller, for sure. Ricer nice. This car is nice. So this is not a 22B. This is just a 98 Subaru Impreza rally car. Jimmy Broadbent has a 98 Impreza. I don't think it's the 22B though. I think it's just a version 5 or 6 Impreza. How did I come up with the name Hot Dog 1? So, I first created the name Hot Dog when I was trying to join PlayStation Network 10 years ago, in 2011. And at the time I was only 10 years old at the time. And I'm watching early nostalgic YouTube, and I was watching a Smosh video, specifically the Superpowers Smosh video. There's one little skit where they have a dog that is, like the skit was like, what if you could read dogs' minds? And the dog was like yelling at one of the guys saying, hey, give me a hot dog. Give me a hot dog. Give me a hot dog. And I really liked that clip. And I thought the dog sounded like hot dog, like if you tried to like pronunciate it. So I thought, stupid 10-year-old me thought that's gonna be my online name. So on PlayStation Network, I just put in hot_dog and it was taken. So reasonably I went for the next next option, which is Hot Dog 1, and that was accepted. So that is my PlayStation username, is hot_dog1, and it's been that way, and I don't think I'll ever change it. As for YouTube, I created the channel in 2013, so a couple years after I'd already been on PlayStation Network, and I already had my own screen name on my old channel, Blocks Bros, but when I tried to create the YouTube channel with the same name, Hot Dog 1, that was taken actually. So I tried to think of something that was maybe a little clever that could be a brand, and maybe I was watching Slap Train or somebody, but I think his channel name used to be the Slap Train 1 or something like that, and I thought that was a pretty neat play. So I kind of stole that. and thought I could be known as the Hot Dog 1. As kind of a smirky 13-year-old me would do. And yep, that's how this channel has its name. And I will admit, it's a little cringy. Just a little bit. Especially when I have to tell people in real life my channel name, but I take pride in it. If I ever had to rebrand, I would be Lucas THD1, which I thought about doing that when I quit Asphalt, but I figured not quite yet. Not quite ready for it. But I've had the same profile picture since 2013. And it's literally just a Ferrari 458 Italia with a hot dog photoshopped over it and the text just angled to the side of the car. Pretty cringy. But it's nostalgic. By the way, we won this race pretty easily. It's a pretty pogger name indeed. Nice thumbnail. FlamingDogOfFire. Isn't that a bit redundant? we all cringy kids. Thanks, Boom. Alright. We have another rally race on Swiss Alps. And in this one, I think I'm going to drive... I'd say reasonably, let's drive the old Lancer, but... I can't change to this. I want to drive the Focus. But it's in the Swiss Alps. Like, reasonably, that makes me think, go European. So you know what? Let's use a French car. Because why not? Let's use a Citroen. The widest car in GT3. Oh, I have no idea. There's no trucks in this game. Maybe the Ford Falcon V8 supercar. We're driving against another Citroen to be evenly matched. car was driven by Philip Bulgoski, who won the 1999 Rally Catalunya and the Tour de Corse. Pretty cool. Gran Turismo cars, for the most part, all have a cool background. So the fun part about Swiss Alps is you have this bridge transition just for a little bit to get a little bit of breathing room. And then a tricky left-hander, which I just messed up. I'm just trying to see how it looks on the YouTube screen because I know this track can get kind of dark in some spots. That's a big puff of smoke that's blocking our view. Bulgoski left us. I am crashing everywhere. I should learn to actually drive. Rally in this game is a little tricky at times. Fell from a tree, that's rough. When am I gonna do a face reveal? Give it a year from now. We have to do everything we can to catch up the other Citroen. He's holding up pretty well. This car does drive differently from the Subaru. I understood the joke. Among Us BTS Chicken Nugget. I saw that sold for $100,000, but I wonder if it was a scam or if someone actually owns it. Also, this car is NA, not turbo, interestingly. Suno 22. A little bit better of a lap. Yeah, spending that much for a chicken nugget that's made of silicone and rubber. Some people, man. Getting the hang of driving this thing, but it's still a little tricky. The brakes work a little too well on this car. Every time I expect I need to brake, you don't really need to, because I think it's front wheel drive, right? So this might actually not work out. We have to drive like really well because this guy's maintaining a gap on us. That lap wasn't as good. We're only a second down, so maybe we can make something happen on the last lap. Your films is streaming soon. Isn't he streaming at like 12:30? Alright, right up, we're gonna send it. We have sent the letter. Is he about to stream like right now? We still gotta do B license. after we finish arcade. Anyway, we delivered when we needed to. The 124 lap and a win. So Michael Massey, yeah, he had a really terrible race, like as a race director. So Virtual's live. Anyway, we win with Citron. We get a thick trophy. Not a really good replay shot, but let's just keep going. That was a 6-minute race. The Rimac, yes, make it production. I forgot the name of the car, but I saw the C2 as a finally a real car now. So, let's go back in. 2 tracks, Trial Mountain. We already drove an A-class car, so let's drive. You know what, let's drive another A-class car, because it's a road car circuit. Let's drive... I want to say Japanese sports car, but we just did that, but... Let's drive the Skyline. Do it in dark blue. Sort of like Jimmy Broadbent. Ryback Nevera. Yes, I did hear about that. Finally a car that has pickup. It looks like it's pretty much all Japanese sports cars except for that roof. So we have ourselves a race. Is that an Evo? It's not an Evo 5, it's an Evo 4 or 6. I was gonna say, is that a... Well, I think it is. It's not. But we're driving a Skyline. R32. GTR. I knew that was going to happen, so that's why I shifted gears just before. This is a long race, so we don't have to worry too much about pace right now. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Yes, kiddo. Well, thanks for tuning in. I think this is pretty fun, though. I loved the chat drama at the start. So much still happens in a GT stream. But yeah, we're going to be grinding the license tests at the end of arcade mode, which will be the really cool stuff. Everyone's watching Furum stream. Have fun. If you have 2 screens, watch 2 streams as a tip. Yeet chicane. Big yeet. Okay, maybe we should step it up. Thanks, Audie. Give me that pace. So question, are we going to be able to catch the other group? Because I thought there was rubber banding in arcade mode, but I wonder if that's the case, because we're a bit far back from the group. Watching 2 streams at once is based, indeed. Yeah, my mech story is pretty cool. We are slowly catching back up to the group though. See, that's why I said, you gotta give it some time. Good corner. We're now down under 3 seconds. Alright, this time we won't yeet it through the chicane, but give it a little touch. Try to work on getting the lead back. We now have about 2.2 seconds. Big progress on the RX-7 here. Car goes deep on the brakes, that's for sure. You have to commit to the corners. We're now in this group fighting for the lead. Cut back on the inside. Try to get a good run up. Pick up our slipstream. Put it down the inside. Doesn't really work this lap, but it might in the later. So, let's see. We're going to do a cut back. Ooh, we have to choose the outside line. So we'll drop back again. This time I'll put it down the inside. Now the roof leads. Looks like the RX-7 is slightly faster in a straight line. But can we power through? Important pass right there. Alright, let's pick off the NSX. Oh, I was hoping to stay and get the momentum I need. But we picked them off. Our brakes are not very good on this car. These mid-engine cars can definitely corner better. Come on, out-drag him. This is a pretty good fight though, that's for sure. What's up, Bitman? Cut right in front. And let's put our sights on the roof. .9 seconds. That's a lot to make in one lap, but can be done. Alright. Let's get flying. Not literally. Am I streaming on Sunday? Probably not, but I'll see what I'm doing. I do want to catch up on GT3 quite a bit. 39. Need to do a sub 140. But let's see. We'll have big momentum in this section. We've always been quick in this sector. Send it. Don't get pushed. Don't hit the rocks. There we go. Can't do a cutback, but we can avoid hitting the wall. Pick up the slipstream. Big send. Ref is definitely quick in this track. Just kind of make our way through. Because I don't want to replay this. He's coming. Oh lord, he's coming. But we did what we need to do, and I said we need to go under 140, and that's exactly what we did. Awesome. Just what I needed. Oh, a little dirty, and pretty far back from the rest of the pack, which we should be racing. I just dropped the controller, hopefully didn't break it. Looks like it still works. I've been streaming for 5 years now. We got the dub though. Alright. One more race in arcade and then we can do licenses. Finally. Hopefully, it won't take too long, but licenses can be pretty punishing, so. I don't know how long it will take me to get through licenses. But one more race. Don't think too far ahead. So now we got one more race. And we'll use an S-Class car. I'm thinking we used an NSX regularly, so let's use, we used the Skyline last, so I think it only makes sense to use the Supra. Yo, is that a Supra? The main car of this game, the Castrol Tom Supra, because why not? As you'd expect, this race would be a bunch of JGTC cars. So, that's what we're going to be racing. But also, a Jaguar XJ220 in here, for some reason. How long have I been streaming? Only about 2 hours. I tried to send it in turn 1 that didn't quite work. There's also a touring car in here, the Mercedes CLK. Don't spin. These cars are a lot easier to lose control of, since we don't have any driver aids on. I don't really watch Super GT. I do know of it though. Jensen Button won it pretty recently. A little bit of grass. But now we got our sights on the Loctite Zexel Super, I think it is. Anyway, these cars can go pretty fast compared to the ones we drove at Trial Mountain. Meow. Whoa. AI just be like, no you don't. But we are in the lead in a Supra. You're a little late, but we still got the license to go through, which are arguably the best part of the game. Isn't Super GT like live streamed on YouTube? Use our downforce. Although that felt more like mechanical grip. This is Gran Turismo 3, as in the title. And I think also the game is shown in the description, like as a YouTube gaming page. I think Hamilton's going to retire at the end of the year. I'm not so sure on that. If he loses the title, he might, but I feel like he wants to see what the new cars drive like. Whoa, pay attention to the road. Yeah, he won't retire until he gets absolutely demolished. Like, if he narrowly misses out to Verstappen, I don't think he'll retire. If he gets absolutely crushed and, like, falls and crumbles like he did in the last race every time, he might. But Hamilton is kind of going through what Seb was going through in 2018, where he should have the high ground. Hamilton had a free win right there. And if he didn't accidentally switch on brake magic, he would have won the race and gotten a 25-point increase on Verstappen. And instead, he got no points, and Red Bull had a 25-point increase in the constructors. So that was a massive win thrown away. And he also nearly threw away second place. He should have not scored points in Imola, because he would have dropped back to at least 9th, and then I don't think he could have fought for a podium, and then he got bailed out by the red flag. You don't watch F1, but you're an F1 fan. You watch the highlights. You should watch the races. The races are a good time if you catch them live. They are really fun to watch, and it changes your experience from being a social media fan to a legit fan. Final lap. I think Russell's going to replace Bottas, and I actually think, I know this is kind of a knee-jerk reaction, but I think Bottas is going to get fired mid-season, because Checo is delivering and Bottas is not. And I'd say in 5 races time, if Bottas is still struggling to pass cars in the lower midfield and struggle with fighting the Alphas and the Williams, then Russell's getting that Mercedes seat, because Mercedes is losing ground in the Constructors' Championship when they should be winning it. Perez had a slow start to the season, so that was their chance to get a big lead, and they haven't. Do you think Hamilton will run away once Russell joins? I'm not so sure about that. If Russell's like Charles was to Seb, then maybe. I'm not so sure. Anyway, our last arcade race of the first area is won. So, yep. The XG220 predictably fell down. The JGD cars are just too quick. So yeah. Ooh, nice thumbnail. But I think we were already using it for something. Anyway, what did we get for winning Arcade Area A? Nothing. That's actually a lie. So, let me first show you guys. In the clear status, all tracks are green, so now we have a new set of 6 tracks. And we go to just the new set of tracks that are unlocked. It's nice. But if we go, actually wait, no. If we go to a road track and take a peek at our cars, we now have a new car unlocked in arcade mode, the Silvia GT300 car. And I think A-Class will get unlocks at some point too. For now, I think there's nothing. Just the S-Class unlock. Oh wait, no. There's now a MX-5 that's separate to the LS. This is the NA MX-5 is here in Class C. Yeah, License Suffering is up next. That's what you get for clearing arcade mode. If we go back to simulation mode and check our progress, it goes up to 11%, so that's a huge chunk. And almost 5 hours later, 4.5 hours later, we're only crossing 10%. So there you guys go. That's GT3 for you. And that's the end of this segment.